Welcome to another video today. After yesterday's inspection of this hive, I've decided that I'm going to put a honey super on sooner rather than later. A little bit early, but I want to give them the opportunity to start storing nectar now that the weather is so good and that the flowers are so good around here too. So I've got my honey super here. Now, a lot of people say it's quite difficult to get the worker bees to come up through the queen excluder and onto the frame. Now, one popular method is to spray the super frames here with sugar water. I don't have a sprayer, and I don't feel much like covering the kitchen in sticky water. So I'm going to use a little bit of powdered sugar, which you often use in a hive. Some people can use it for varroa mite control, although that's a bit controversial. I figured I'll put a little bit of powdered sugar on the frames. My lots, they're so addicted to sugar, they'll probably come straight up, clean that off, get themselves oriented, make it start smelling of bees, and then start drawing it out. So here I am, just lighting my smoker. I don't need a lot of smoke. I'm not going to be in there long. I don't intend this to be intrusive, especially so soon after yesterday's inspection. I really don't want to stress them out, so I just want to calm them down a little bit. Here's me putting the flame out so I get a decent bit of smoke. A bit at the front for the guard bees, calm them down. Already you can hear, well, you can't because I've turned the sound off, but you can hear the bees responding inside. They don't like it. You can hear the roar from the hive as the smoke goes in. So I'm going to take the crown board off here with the porter bee escapes. They only allow bees to go one way, in this case down. So it provides ventilation, but it doesn't allow those bees up into that space. Oh, my smoker has gone out, so light that again quickly. I don't need much, as I say. It's just got to be a couple of puffs just inside. Now they've stuck that lid down overnight with propolis, which is bee glue, effectively made from the resin of trees and plants. It's got antibacterial properties, so the bees are quite keen to paint a lot of the hive inside with that. So there we go. That's pushed a lot of the bees down into the frames. That's calmed them down. So I'm going to put the queen excluder on now, which is that metal grate. That's got holes in that allow the workers to come up, but not the queen. She's too big to get through that hole. So she can't come up into the top box there and lay eggs. So when the worker bees pull out the frames, draw out the frames, they'll tend to store nectar in that top space, and that later becomes the frames of honey that we'll extract. Now, I'm not expecting, this is the first year after the swarm, I'm not expecting a huge amount of honey. To be honest, I'd be grateful if I got 1 or 2 pots off of this colony this year. I've got to be careful of not leaving them with no resources going into winter, because, this is quite a crucial year for them. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to put the crown board back on. I'm just looking now down between the frames and seeing if any of them are coming up. And they're not. They're mostly running around inside, making a lot of noise, trying to work out what's going on. Now, quite often on a super box, you'll have crenellations. You've got 10 frames that can sit in this top box, and they're kept spaced apart by crenellations. I don't have that in my super frame. I've just got metal rails. So if I leave a big space, you know what they'll do, especially this colony. They'll go crazy with the comb. So I'm just trying to equally space out the frames here. It's quite often you'll have the super frames will be much thicker than the brood frames down below. People want more honey stored in them, so the bees are keen to oblige. Yep, still no activity, so on goes the crown board. No point in keeping it open, distressing them any further. I want to get in and out quickly. I'm trying to decide, do I put the lid on or do I leave the empty super frame on top? I think I'm going to do that. That might help draw some of the hot air up and increase the ventilation in the hive. That's my thinking. So I'm going to put that there. I'm probably going to put that feeder board on top as well, just in case it rains. Get that out. I don't want that to get wet nor warped. So I'll put that under the lid as well, and then the lid. So it's quite a sizable hive now, quite tall. And I won't open this up again now, probably for 10-15 days. I'll let them really get settled and hopefully come up into that top box and give me a lot of honey.